Here's a good one for you. I've realized over the years. You got people in prison, right? Guy goes to prison, does like 10 years, gets out of prison, can't get a job. He's like, because he got felony and stuff. So he he does everything he can to get back into prison. And then you got these people on the outside of prison talking about how they can't even freaking survive and how hard it is on the outside. And then it's just nobody's happy. Nobody. I mean, literally, nobody is freaking happy. Think about that. If you're the one complaining, why aren't you happy? Whatever happened to being happy? Everybody's complaining about this or that. Oh, well, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this. Well, you signed up for it. Now you gotta do it. My take on things at 63 years old, after doing the grind for many, many years, is that if you're going to go out there and dedicate yourself to something, you probably shouldn't bitch about it. Let's say you have a good job. I can't tell you how many freaking women I've seen. This is kind of a dig on women too. When I worked as an electrician, I used to have to work around these ladies that were sitting on computers. This is back in the 90s. These ladies would be sitting there on their computer in a nice air-conditioned office, complaining. Mind you, they're getting paid to sit on their ass. Typing away. Well, I gotta freaking go above their head and install shit so they can freaking see what they're doing. But yet they still complain. So I think it's natural for the human mind to go to the negative. Regardless of if you're rich, if you got $1 million, the only time I can tell you when I was kind of grateful for things is when I was homeless. Homeless people are grateful. If you ever talk to a homeless person, they're freaking grateful. You might give them a cigarette, and they're grateful. I was in a freaking homeless shelter line back in the late 80s. I seen a guy get stabbed over being in the line. Cut in front of somebody in the line. But everybody got fed. Nobody had shit but a backpack. But they were grateful for getting something to eat. And you got people that are like, got everything right handed to them. I'm talking, these are big fat ladies sitting on a freaking, on a chair, typing away on a freaking computer. This is like in the 90s. Late 90s. So well, you know, this getting this on my hair. I don't like it on my hair. You know, because the dust falls on the hair. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me, lady. But I never said anything. I never said shit. I was just like, I gotta keep this job. Gotta keep my job. Gotta keep my job. Everybody's talking about it. I got to keep my job. But what about my job? That's all anybody thinks. And they're not happy. My advice to anybody, this is coming from a guy that's on the bottom side of life. I'm retired. But if you got a job and you're making good money, just sit on your ass and talk to your girlfriends while you type away billing crap, whatever. You got it made. Because when you're homeless, you ain't got nothing. And you're walking around, you have no skills. You don't have the skills that you learn to type all day. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody is created equal. So, my advice is before you start complaining about the dust on your hair from somebody working above you, think about how lucky you really are. Something to think about.